you have a food plot and you have wide open timber right next to it, you know that there's no deer going to be bedded right there.
I don't want to just sit on the edge and do what I should. I've done better this year of not hunting mornings.
I hunted mornings out of the same stupid 15-foot ladder stand. I killed a 5.5-year-old buck and a 3.5-year-old buck, and I only hunted it 2 mornings. Where do your quarrels come from? They come from your pleasures. Read the Bible. Everybody is so offended because when their pleasure gets put up against the fence and when they have to fight for this, they quarrel and they claw and they go bananas. We're back. We're talking about deer hunting. It's going to be good. But we're actually talking about Habitat World because that's going to be more fun today.
It is more fun. And then
and we just had Colin on, and that was super fun. And we just had Vitalized Seed on. That was super fun. Learning a lot. I've actually had like a bunch of people reach out and been like, dude, love the podcast. Learning an absolute ton. Not even sure what I want to do moving forward.
Well, let's check myself too.
Oh, dude, every time.
Yeah.
Every time I'm learning, like, and that's where it's like there's multiple ways to skin this cat. That's not like it's you got to do it this way. And if you don't do it this way, if you're like, oh, you got to be no-till. Oh, you got to be tillage. Oh, you got to do this seed. You got to do that seed. It's like, ooh, pigeonholing yourself is kind of like, what for? Mm-hmm. You know? So we were going to try to tie a lot of that stuff up today and just kind of look at like what we're going to do and talk about our properties and all that fun stuff. So
and just we have caught up to you with.
I don't even know who you anymore.
Yeah, yeah. We've been on the road with shows, which I touched on in the last podcast, but I'll touch on again. We just finished up NWTF, amazing show. If anybody ever wants to go see that, good luck. It's scary. It's a lot of humans.
It's
but
awesome.
It's a good show. Really,
it's
good
a good
show.
vibe and more mossy oak camo than you'll know what to do with.
And it like. Us northern folks,
oh
like,
gosh, I'm moving to the south. Elizabeth and I talked about it.
Yeah,
dude. Like I'm so.
And then you can be cool and wear camo all day long. It's cool to wear camo.
It's cool to be nice.
Yes.
Like it's cool to be polite
yes,
in the
ma'am.
south.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Like when little kids are saying that.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Trying really hard because it's just like, man, it's just cool to be nice and
Mm-hmm.
like. Everybody's not in such a hurry.
Mm-hmm. They are very, y'all in the South are like chill, and I love it.
Yeah, praise God for you guys. You're a good example. I think I stress people out down there because I'm like, I gotta go. Like actually, the dude that helps me out in Kentucky, he's like, dude, you're gonna die of a heart attack because you go so fast. And I'm like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry, I'm busy.
Yeah,
but
we got stuff to do.
yeah, they don't care.
No.
I love it. So yeah, NWTF was great. Amazing show in Nashville. We will for sure be there again next year. And I think the coolest part about it is when people walked up to us and said, I've been watching your on social media for a while.
Yeah.
It's cool to finally see these maps in person. And then when they did, they're like, yes, they are as good as you say they are.
We still need to record my brother saying that because my own personal brother who's like, I didn't really get it until I saw it in person. He was like, I thought you were kind of crazy. Like, it's going to be that big of a difference. So he said he would come on, and we need to get him recorded saying that in front of his map because it's a huge difference once you see it in person. You're like, oh,
yes.
the detail.
I can actually see the tree stand that I hunt.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a box blind. There's where the deer move from. Here's where they come and go. And it's not just this blurry image.
Yeah, I know. And people, when we were there, obviously, like, we would talk about the properties, and the first thing people do is pull up their phone and show their properties, and they're, like, scanning around, and, like, they literally, I loved watching them because they had, like, a aha moment as they pulled out their property map on their phone. They, like, looked at it and said, yeah, I guess, well, this is my property, but it doesn't really show you anything. And I'm like, yeah, this is why we do these maps. This is why we fly these with a drone to get the most up to date, and the details and insane. So
yeah,
it was cool to see. If you are interested in seeing this, and you are in the Ohio, Iowa, or Wisconsin area, we will be at the Iowa Deer Classic. We have I'm going to go ahead and tell people. I don't know if I should, but I'm going to.
What are we telling them?
I'm going to tell them that. So we flew Lee Lakowski's farm.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
And if he's cool with it, swing by our booth, and we will have his printed, his entire farm printed on display, so you guys can check it out. He seems to be willing to stop in the booth and hang out for a little bit and just talk deer hunting with people. So no promises on that, but good chance. So that'll be fun. I've been to Lee's I went to Lee's last farm. So this is a new piece that I haven't seen. And our Missouri pilots ended up going out there and flying it. And from the sky, it looks sweet.
Yeah. I mean, it's for a deer hunter, land manager, anybody that go like, if you just like, if you just
You
look
can geek
at
out
it,
on it. Yeah,
you just look at it, you're just like, I don't like. It's so like hard to not be like, oh, yeah, I don't want to hunt there. Like if you said no one ever, like you know, it's just if you know anything about anything, it's like, yeah, I'd enjoy hunting there. There might be a couple deer on that farm.
Yeah, especially obviously everyone's seen him on TV, but I'm really excited to like actually sit him down and be like, okay, so here's your farm. This is a guy who hunts his farm almost every single day. Let me see your access. Let me see your main spots. How do you hunt this farm? Like,
Sure.
I want to lay it down. Like I want him to put pins everywhere his main tree stands
Now
are.
you got big ass, man. Now you're like,
Yeah,
you're
I'm very blunt. I'm going right
just
for it.
go
100%.
straight to the jugular.
We have the same name. It's fun.
My bad. Totally makes it legit.
It's a Lee thing.
It's a Lee thing. You're fine. You guys are best buds. You're tight.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
So Iowa Deer Classic.
But isn't Ohio before Iowa?
No.
Oh.
I hope not. Because Iowa's March 6th through 8th.
Okay.
That's in 2 weeks.
Okay.
And then I think it goes
Ohio.
Man, I thought Ohio was last. Okay.
Sorry, guys. We're just a little busy on the schedule and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
I thought Ohio was in between the two.
I don't know. As we talk, I'll try to pull it up. But either way,
It's an
we're
open
gonna,
season in Ohio.
Yeah, we'll be at the open season in Ohio, and also we will be at the open season in Wisconsin. If you're in Wisconsin, I know we get a lot of love from Wisconsin. Come to the Dells. Y'all know it's a pretty area. I'm starting to say y'all. I spent too much time in Nashville.
Go ahead.
The Dells is cool, and that expo, that whole exhibit, it's a really good show. It's probably like it's surprisingly very large. There's like there's 3 different halls, and it's like a good space. You're not like crowded with people, and you get to like sit there and like really see products. Like whether you come to see ours or I know a lot of people, a lot of good companies go to that show. So same thing with Ohio. It's just exciting to talk to you guys in person. I know we shoot back and forth a lot of emails and phone calls, but again, if you're a little skeptic or want to see these in person, this is the best place to do it.
Yeah. So we're excited to jump into the more of the shows, but like we said, we're kind of like all over the place right now. But we're super excited to jump into what we're talking about as we just continue to have these conversations and learn more and more. Like last week having Colin on and talking about timber, and like I personally have a timber project going on. Lee personally is trying to acquire a new farm and what that looks like. And so we're just excited to bring to you guys more stuff on how we've gone about what we're doing and what we got next. And like I'm sold on after talking to, now I'm just blanking on his first name.
Colin?
No, the gentleman from Al from Vitalize. Al was awesome, wealth of knowledge. Check out
you're
his.
blanking because it's such an overload. Of
dude, like
good
info.
information.
Yeah, so go back and watch that episode, but then go and check out Al's stuff on Vitalize Seed. I'm sold. I believe this spring. This farm is only 40 acres, but this farm is going to be a Vitalize only seed farm. Just because I want to go all in.
So you're doing their 2-step program?
Yeah, I'm going to go all in. I'm going to go as soon as this logging operation's done. We're going to have to like have a couple big, I got to have like 3 to 5 big work days where, mapping out the trail system, what I want to do from like clover trails and all that kind of stuff, mapping that out, but kind of reorganizing the food plot program and get the soil samples and then go get everything that I need to treat that.
That's what the biggest thing that I took away is like, I just need to start doing soil samples. Like I just need to, like, especially like if I do acquire this new piece, That's just got to be the first thing that I do.
Well, I think that what most people really, and you are one of them, no offense, is that as we look at this and we're trying to draw deer to a food plot and then to a food source, like, why would you, if you're taking the time to do it, why would you not want it to be the best, most palatable, high nutrition? The deer seek out like the best stuff. And so if it is the best stuff, they're going to even come further and more exponentially because it's even better and you get more tonnage and all that kind of stuff. And then the long-term effects of your soil and all that kind of stuff, it's worth doing. And
100%.
so,
Before I forget,
yeah.
Iowa Deer Classic, March 6th through 8th.
Yeah.
The Ohio Open season is March 20 through the 22nd. And then the Wisconsin Dells Show is March 27 through 29.
Okay. So it is in between there.
You were correct.
Ish.
I was wrong.
I thought it was like this weekend. So.
No, Iowa's like coming up quick.
Yeah,
But,
it's next week, not next week and the following.
yeah. But yeah, to your point, like, and I can think of like a food plot on my dad's piece that I've never done a soil sample. I just try to get clover growing there, and like they'll hit it, but it doesn't draw. It's too small to like really draw deer in, but like it.
But it
could be better.
That actually like fuels my point is that when one guy, the variables that happen in a food plot, when one guy plants a clover plot and it's like, my deer crushed it. And another guy plants a clover plot and says, oh, deer didn't really associate with it. They didn't hit it that well. I mean, they came in there, all that kind of stuff. And it's like, well, food plot 1 or A, he took a soil sample. He balanced the pH. He got everything to where it needs.
It tastes good to the deer.
It tastes good to the deer. It's palatable to the deer. Same seed, same amount of food plot in food plot B, but it doesn't because he didn't do anything, and he might have tilled it in. He might have, they did this. Let's just say they did the same exact process, but how that soil is reacting to those seeds and how is it growing and all that stuff is a big difference. I'm gonna sneeze.
Bless you. Yeah, and I. Like this is embarrassing to admit, but I have 2 soil samples sitting in my barn that I had the intentions of starting last year, and I just didn't do it. It got to life happens. We all know it's like leading up to spring is like our busiest mapping season. So time gets away, and next thing you know, I'm like, I just need to get something in the ground, and I just go and do it. So I fall victim to that every year. So that is my number 1 goal for this year.
What we're gonna do on this podcast is Lee doesn't know I'm about to say this, but we're gonna hold Lee accountable. We're gonna see his soil samples and we're gonna put them on the screen.
Yes.
And so you can see what his soil looks like, and then we'll see what the mill tells him to do.
Yeah, what I'll probably end up doing is sending it to Al.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send it to Al and have him do his thing on it, and then ask him to dumb down the what I should just write down the simple.
I mean, I don't even think you could call it dumbing down. It's just like, could you just put it in English? Like, I mean, like,
could you just put it in terms that I can understand?
Right. You can't say dumb down because it's like 100%, like 99.3% of the population is not Al. And so like,
and these are compliments, Al.
Right.
Just
right.
to let you know.
Yeah. Your ability to understand this stuff is really cool. It's a God-given gift, and you can see 100%. It. And it's awesome. So
yeah. He's doing what he's meant to be doing.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. It's cool. So I don't know what I'm going to plant this year.
Sure.
Like I love the vitalized seed. And so like I have potentially 3 different sections to plant the biggest thing that, I hear from consultants is like, don't plant different varieties throughout the farm because it's going to have different drawing. And I totally get that.
That is a,
yeah. So, and it's just like, I don't know why that bothers me internally of like, I want variety all over the place.
Well, that's where Al is telling you the same thing. He wants variety all over the place, and Vitalized Seed is putting the variety in the bag, in the mix at the right seed ratios. So then it does cover those plots in variety. So there's
builds your soil.
Yeah. So there's palatability from September to January. And I think that's a crucial element that, especially on smaller farms, when you have a 40-acre farm or 80-acre farm or 120-acre farm, and you have to, you make amazing doe bedding close to your food plots, and Colin was talking about it last week, depth of cover, how much cover. If you have a food plot and you have wide open timber right next to it, the edges are just wide open, that there's no deer going to be bedded right there. It's just not possible. They want to bed as close to that available food source. The doe family groups want to. And so that's where it's like you can back it out, where it's like, okay, I got a food plot here. I got the first available bedding is here. And now I can take a compass and go anywhere from 100 to 300 yards and make a circle around it. And that is then where your first available buck bedding is going to be. And you can just follow the trails back and find those buck bedding and travel corridors. But so all that to be said, I am a big believer in the fact that if you have multiple food plots with multiple different food that goes palatable and changes throughout the season, what you're ultimately going to do is you're going to have a doe family group associate with that food plot. Let's say it's just straight clover. And I know there's going to be people that differ in this opinion, and that's okay. I'm telling you what I believe in. And if it's just straight clover and we get a super hard frost and it all frosts out, and then they'll probably still eat it, but they'll start to associate with the other food plots in a different way because there's no palatable food, which will then cause those bucks to have to move and change location. And so you won't have that consistent movement all the way through the season.
Exactly. And your goal is to, for one, stack different groups of deer on your property. So if they all have a different place to go and eat and it's palatable food all year long, then they're
not fighting each other. They're not having to beat each other up. They're not saying, so now all of a sudden you have two variables that changed rapidly where it's like, now they have to feed somewhere else. And now a matriarch doe that's moved into the plot 1 and she's been there. Now this other matriarch doe is coming from plot 2. And they don't like each other, and now they're standing up on their hind legs, fighting each other off, taking turns to feed in the food plot, and all that kind of stuff. And it's not as productive as I believe having the variety. And that's where I like the grains and the brassica type blend. However you want to skin that cat with beans, peas, oats, that kind of stuff, and brassica blend at the minimum.
Do you remember what is in there?
No.
So it goes.
No, I don't. You could bring it up.
Oh yeah. It's a 2-step program. The one is to put food there. I like this. This is what I really draws me into that is the 2-step program that they offer is establishing a food source and then getting the deer coming there all year long.
Yeah.
Then hitting them with their fall.
Well, and it's a soil builder, and it helps, and it pumps it up full of nitrogen and gives the soil everything that it needs during the summer months. It keeps the sun off of it from scorching it, and then you get to plant through it, and then it's a thatch for your seeds. I mean,
their spring summer blend is called Nitro Boost.
Yep.
And then their fall blend is Carbon Load.
Yeah.
You want to know what's in it?
Yeah, let's go through Nitro Boost real quick.
Let's see. 17 species.
Let's go. I'm glad you're reading it, not me, because this makes me.
I know. I'm already nervous that there's gonna be something in there. Like,
there's already something. I hope there's fajitas in there.
Okay, here we go. Tacos. So in the spring mix is spring/summer, spring barley, spring forage peas, soybeans, eagle beans, cowpeas, sun hemp, lab, which I have never planted before. Have you ever done lab? Apparently in the South, it's like
the thing.
Yeah. And then American joint vetch. And then buckwheat, it says pollinator and soil. I don't know if this is all still in the mix. Buckwheat, sunflowers, crimson clover, forage rape, hybrid sorghum, Sudan sungrass. A lot in one bag.
And what is a 50-pound bag or whatever plant?
Plant ratio. Let's see. I don't know how big this bag is. $70 online. So a 22.5 pound bag plants a half acre.
Okay.
So you need 45 pounds for 1 acre,
yeah.
Which makes sense because there's a lot of seed in there.
There's a lot going on.
I don't even know. That's a big bag. 50-pound bag for 1 acre.
Yeah. Compared to like a brassica blend bag.
It's a
You're
little
like 4-pound bag.
Yeah.
4-pound bag.
Yeah.
Or a half acre. So yeah, but that's pretty common with that size seed. I mean, a lot of those seeds are big seeds.
Big seed.
I don't know how you seed that well.
Yeah, so my buddy is talking about getting a drill, so that would be ideal for me.
Yeah, my brother, who we were talking about earlier, was just asking me about getting one, and he's got his all. Yeah,
Like, did you get a big one for a tractor, or like
he's doing. I think he's doing a 6 or 8 footer, and doing like a
Do you know what brand he's looking at?
He was going between Genesis and what's the other
You
big?
could probably get him a good deal at the next show. They're always there.
I know they gave me 10% off in Nashville, but
They're I'm just diving into their fall blend
Yeah.
of like,
I wanna
because
hear
like when you're, so it's 16 different seeds in their fall blend.
when's the planning schedule?
I'm
Sorry.
assuming it depends on where you are. Like,
Yeah, no,
I'm assuming
we're here.
August. Well, for fall, I'm assuming August time frame. Cereal grains. Okay, so they have. See this now. We're getting into words, big words. Fall triticale.
Triticale. Yeah.
Triticale.
Big fan.
Winter wheat, rye grain, oats, winter peas, hairy vetch.
God, I love some hairy veg.
I can't believe I said that with a straight
I
face.
know, that's why I had to say it to mess with
It
you.
says KY Pride, Clemson Clover, Frosty Berseem Clover, Fixation
Yeah.
Balanza Clover, my guess. Sorry, people, I'm not good at reading.
It's not you. It's
Another
the
clover,
words.
chicory, buckwheat, radish, purple top turnip, bark gnat turnip, and 2 different brassicas, and that's it. Yeah, so 17 species in one plot. So if you're looking for diversity, that's the most diverse thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. Still am trying to figure out how to plant that. I mean, I know Al talked about just broadcasting that and stuff like that. It freaks me out. I know his planting regimen of saying like do half an acre, go through half an acre with half an acre worth of seed, cover the entire food plot, and then come back, just because of the size difference between all of those seeds, how they're going to disperse out of your cedar makes a guy like me just a little concerned, because I've had, more plot failures in my history on diverse seed plantings where like all the brassica seeds fall to the bottom, and then you have like a brassica patch over here because this is where you started.
That's what I've never ran a no-till. So
Yeah, that's-
like
I
when
mean-
you drill that, like I know there's 2 seed boxes, your small seed and your big seed, but like how do you know? I'm assuming you mix it up with your hand when you pour it in the cedar, but like how do you know? Like
Yeah, each different cedar has its own uniqueness too, and like what size plates. I forgot I have a 2-row planter. I kind of forgot about that. I bought one from a guy and never picked it up. So
wow.
yeah. Long story on that.
Sure.
but it's
I
an old school like corn planter.
Yeah, I think for my first year, like to my knowledge on this property, it has not been planted in at least 5 years. So I'm probably going to do a light. I'm gonna flip the soil very lightly before planting.
Yeah. Yeah, I think. I mean, you saw the mud mess that the loggers are making over there. So like,
I was thinking about that all night of like your landing zone there.
Yeah, you don't like it. You love it.
I love it. I do love it. I love what they're doing to your property, and he's the guy that's doing it. I think is doing a very, very good job when I compare it to my last login experience.
Yeah.
I just don't know if I would put food there.
I know.
I'd be nervous about putting food there.
Well, I'm just looking at the way that I hunt this property has been very, very much so. It's just like I've given this property to my kids, and so it's like it's really primarily evening hunts and really just like rocking that one blind. And I feel like it's just so nice for the kids if I put like that ghillie blind right behind the barn there, and we can just slip in and out of that for evening hunts. It's like if the hunt goes bad and they need to go home or whatever, we can just walk back out of that and we haven't bumped anything. Nothing's the wiser. And like, that I know once that where they're actually cutting. Once that starts to come up with browse and all that kind of stuff, it might change, and I might abandon that food plot 3 years in, and just let that go wild, or plant something else there, or something like that. But put some apple trees or something in rows there, or something like that. But still, you're gonna have deer congregate there if you do that.
Yeah, that's like, I don't think I'm mature enough to fully give the deer my entire property like that.
So like I never hunt. I've never go to the west edge of the property ever. Like this year, that late season, tried to stick that crazy buck. I haven't sat that tree stand in 8 years.
Yeah.
Like, because I just don't go over there. I don't walk through there. I don't want to go over there.
I think like I'm okay with like giving up a corner and here and there, but like like I'm saying, if you put food, and then people listening to this, if you picture your house is like kind of sitting almost in the center.
Yeah, we should let me see if we can pull the map up. Do you have the map?
I don't think I have it on my computer.
Oh, okay.
So your house is kind of sitting in the center, and then like I love this design because like you can just like skedaddle out of your house and like hit a food plot in like 15 steps.
Yeah.
So like you're bringing the deer more or less to your house, giving them the rest of their property.
You can't see it's crucial to understand though. You can't see the food plots from the house. Like
the one you got
terrain feature,
right,
the hill. So it's on the backside of the hill and stuff like that. So it's just like it's right on the edge. So I don't want guys to think that like you can bring like I've seen a lot of
out your window.
Right. I've seen a lot of bad designs though where guys have tried to bring them right up to the cabin because they make the yard of the cabin into a food plot, and then they're like, oh, it doesn't really work, and then they're constantly bouncing deer. So you have to give them some buffer. But like you said, the whole idea of this place, because of the way that the house sits in there, if it wasn't for the house, it would be a totally different design.
Yep.
But because of the house, we have to just spider web out of the house in all directions and make it, we do have the possibility of looping back around and getting on the downwind side of the bedroom coming off the road, though.
Oh, I hear your motor right now.
Yeah, I just heard a chainsaw fire up.
Yeah, it's cool. Like I said, I just don't think like, especially like my entire life, I've dreamed about owning a property. Mm-hmm. Like it's been like my number one goal forever. And with the potential fact that I'll finally have that this year is I'm going to be honest. I want to hunt it. Like I can't I'm going to be too excited my first year to like give the entire property to the deer. Like I want to enjoy it. I love morning sits. I've done better this year of not hunting mornings early season. So that was a big, huge difference. Anybody that still hunts early season mornings, try it this year. I get it. I totally get it. I fall victim to it. 'Cause I love a morning sit. To me is like, I mean, when it comes to something spiritual, like that is like sunrises, you hear the like, especially
well, that's why I love turkey hunting.
Yeah,
because like all you're gonna do is get up early and like the woods are all waking up and all that.
I just love it.
So just get your fix.
It's spiritual to me.
You get your fix during the turkey season.
It's not enough. But yeah, so like I love hunting mornings, and I'm much smarter about it now than I was in my younger days. But still, like my first property, I don't want to just sit on the edge and like do what I should. I'll fully say that right now. Like I want a couple stands that like I can get like in the heart.
It took me a few years of hunting here to realize that I was doing far more damage to go out there and get to certain spots and stuff like that. And I would say this, like my friends and stuff that talk to me and like they know my hunting spots and stuff like that, they give me just a rash of crud about just not going in there and killing deer. But the last 2 years, I hunted mornings out of the same stupid 15-foot ladder stand. I killed a 5.5-year-old buck and a 3.5-year-old buck this year off of it, and I only hunted it 2 mornings ever. And both times I've killed a deer out of it.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay,
100%. Like
the morning is very, very productive if you have the property set up so you can slip in there October 22nd to the 1st of November and get it done. But I wouldn't have that opportunity if I went out there in the mornings before that.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't exist.
And that's what I think what I'm trying to beat around the bush and say is like, I will still not hunt the mornings early season, but like I want the stands that when you said like October 24th rolls around, like I want to get in there and be like in a good spot and just enjoy an eventful morning hunt.
There's nothing better.
Yeah. So, and it comes down to a lot of the design and access of your property and stuff like that, which I think the one that I'm looking at is it lends itself to some of those possibilities. But,
For sure. The north-south road is a big deal. Predominant wind direction, all that kind of stuff. It just really comes into all that comes into play when you're looking at a piece of property, trying to buy a piece of property. How am I going to get on and off it? Should be like the number one question that guys are asking. That Illinois farm that I'm under contract with right now, like it does have some access area issues, but it's the only block of timber in a section and neighborhood there that's going to be legit. And I mean, I literally, the first thing I did was drive around the block and I'm looking at all the neighboring properties around it. And I'm going non-hunter, non-hunter, non-hunter. This guy might be, this guy might be, this guy might be, but the non-hunters are just big, huge hay fields. And so hopefully I can come through their hayfield for those morning sits, because going through my property, that's going to be a maze of food plots and design and all that kind of stuff, isn't going to be something I'm very interested in to get back to that block of timber that's tucked way back in there.
Yeah.
But if you don't get it, you just keep going until you do and ask and, so.
Yeah. I love the sound of the chain. This is the coolest thing. We're doing a podcast and talk about deer habitat, and you can have
just somebody just getting after it now. And I would say that's one of the big things that I've had to like learn and let go of is like sometimes you just got to let somebody else do it too. And like utilizing that tools and those equipment and all that kind of stuff. Like it just makes you ponying up the money to have somebody clear a food plot for you. It's just going to give you so much more advantage.
Let's touch on that a second. So like I've never done it. I've tried to get my dad to do one of the food plots behind his house. I've tried to get him several times to like talking and like, let's make this a little bit bigger.
Sure.
And like actually make it a food plot and draw a deer to it. Like, okay, so you bring in, let's say you get a logger to come in and like, he's going to take some timber off your property, and then you agree with him. It's like, I'm going to clear this section out to make this food plot bigger. After that, like from a financial standpoint, what does it actually cost to like turn it into a food plot?
So me personally, I would say this, it costs about $1,000 to $2,000 to clear an acre, depending on how you do it. But that's like literally it's $1,000 to $2,000 with the right person in there to clear 1 acre of standing timber.
That's just clearing the timber.
That's clearing it, just stumping it, getting it to a place where it's fairly cleaned up.
And you said that you don't dozer, you don't pull
I'm
up
not
the
a
roots.
I'm not a big fan of dozing, especially like the way that I'm going to do it. One, it's going to be case by case. It's a lot of it will come down to the size of the trees.
Yeah.
So I'll just start with my thinking on, you got big, huge oaks in an area, big, huge maples in an area, and high canopy, no stem count underneath it. Cut the trees, fall them, move the tops out of the side, leave the stumps for the first 3 years, plant your food plot around it. Like, get an acre in there where you can do that. If you have like huge, massive, it's shaded completely out, leave the stumps, plant around it, cut them down as low as you possibly can, move the dirt around, and just plant around it. Like they'll become little pockets. They'll like,
and you get some stump sprouts.
You'll get some stump sprouts that they'll browse on and all that kind of stuff. And then maybe the next year you grind out a few of them, here and there. Are
you gonna sneeze again? He caught something at NW.
Yeah.
The wrong person shook his hand.
Go back to, let's say you just have like popple section.
Then you're bringing a mulcher in.
Same thing with maples, same thing with a pine section and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to fall all of the trees. I'm going to move all the tops out of the way, move all the logs out of the way, pile them all up. And then I'm just going to bring a forestry mulcher in, and because I can leave all the little stuff and he can just mulch the whole tree. And then he runs the mulcher just enough where it gets that seed bed or it gets that trunk underground. And once it's underground, it rots a lot faster. Yes, if you're running a brand new seeder and all that kind of stuff, this is not probably the right tool for you at this time. Or that is not the right tool for your planting at that time.
So when you do that, do you have to be very cautious about, like, let's say you're tilling it, you're working the ground up, like?
That's what I'm saying. Like you got to be careful. Like I have an old disc set that I use for cut in a new food plot. I've also been known to rent a tiller from the local renter place and to till the first couple times before I use my tiller. Like that's sorry, but that's what they're there for. Like they're there to rent. I'm not trying to use and abuse their stuff, but at the same time, it's like they're there to rent.
You're using it.
Yeah. I'm using it and abusing it slightly, but get it all cleared up as much as you possibly can. Get all those sticks out of there and turn over that soil just a little bit lightly. And I would say my argument to that is that most guys are tilling too deep anyways. And so set your tiller super light, and you really don't need to till that soil if it's been standing woods. It shouldn't have grass thatch. It shouldn't have all that stuff on there. But then get something planted in the spring to get it going, like a rye or like a vitalized seed blend and all that kind of stuff. In your first year, my opinion, you're not going to have all of those in that 17 variety of the NutriBoost or Nitro Boost or whatever that's called. It's not going to, all that's not going to take, because you're going to have so much stuff competing in a brand new food plot. You'll have all sorts of stuff popping up. But that is the way I do it. I mean, can you run if you have a dozer, can you run a dozer and just knock it all over it with a backhoe and all that kind of stuff, pop the stumps up and get them all out of there, push the topsoil around yeah, 100%. I mean, I got an excavator buddy who's really good at stripping all the topsoil off, clearing out whole mounds of sand underneath it, and then putting all the topsoil back on. If you got those skills and you can do that kind of stuff, by all means, go for it. It's going to work, but you have to have soil to grow things. And the more stumps that you pop up and the more sand that you bring up from underneath those,
Have you ever brought in soil onto a food plot?
Yeah. Lots of manure.
Financially, like, to actually, like, put good soil on a food plot, like, how does...
That's costly if you're going to cover a whole acre with just topsoil. I don't know the price per acre, or, like that they sell topsoil in yards. I've done it where, back to my example of like having a large oak area that the trees are now underground. The stumps, I've got them underground because I left them for the first year as big stumps, cut them down, kind of burned on them, got rid of them, whatever, never pulled them fully out. But now they're underground, or I ground them out and they're underground, and everything just kind of, nothing really grows there. And so then I'll go get like 5 bags of topsoil and fill in that hole, because it's rotting and it creates, and then you can just go right over top of it. But I've never brought in soil for an entire food plot. Like,
yeah, I know that would obviously be a very extreme version, but
at the end of the day, it's probably not as bad as you'd think versus like trying like crazy. I would be a little hesitant on, you're going to bring in other weeds and seeds and stuff like that are not native to your, like bringing in topsoil just for your yard. You'll see stuff that pops up that are like, where the heck, but that's a whole nother topic unto itself. Yeah. But I'm a big fan of the forestry mulcher. Those things are awesome. They get the job done.
Yeah.
You get a lot of wood chips, but which
is great for your soil. Dude,
rake them off.
Yeah. You spread them out.
You got to rake them off. Pile, like if you got depth of wood chips, you're not going to grow anything.
Yeah, so that just acts as like a...
Keeps it. That's why you put wood chips on your flower bed, so no weeds, don't get to the sunlight. Doesn't.
Yeah,
get to
I
the
was
floor.
seeing some study on people putting sawdust on there. So obviously that breaks down much faster than a wood chip. So that's kind of where my brain was looking at, the sawdust.
Well, that's the idea of the vitalized nutria stuff, is that you have all that thatch that pulls up all the nutrients, keeps all that nutrients, then gets killed and laid on top of it. Now that nutrients acts as a sun barrier, protects the soil from drying out. At the same time, it's breaking down and leaching all the nutrients that pulled up back into the ground.
Yeah,
that's key. And that's the same thing from what we talked about with Colin yesterday. The treetops. Trees are full of nutrients because they've just pulled it out of the ground for years to grow. Then you cut them down, you put them in the hedgerows that he talked about in that episode, and now you have those plants that are protected in the cage, and then at the same time, all that nutrients as those trees are breaking down. Yes, it does take years for those trees to break down and stuff like that, but as they're breaking down, that nutrients is going back into the soil. And
it's giving side cover.
And it's giving protection cover, and it's giving you screening and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. I was always wondering, like, when he was talking about that, I was like picturing this potential property. I can't wait to stop calling it potential property. Hopefully I don't eat my words for some crazy reason, but
It happens.
it happens.
More than you want it to.
Yeah. Making along the very border of the property in the south, or no, it'd be the west end, creating like a big, I want to call it a fence. I'm not big on fences, but like a hedgerow, like a thick hedgerow to really like property
Steer
line.
deer.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think this year I'm gonna do a little bit of, if we still have the swamp property, I'd really like to. I'm probably gonna utilize some high tensile along the road.
Have you been back to that property recently at all? Or do you have trail cameras rolling on it yet?
One or two, mainly for security purposes, like on the trails to see if anybody pulls.
I'm wondering how wet it is now.
We went back and ice fished on there and walked around a little bit, and you can walk around. I mean, you can tell that there's ice in the woods or ice in those brush areas because like you're breaking through it.
Mm-hmm. So the whole thing is wet.
It's surprising. Like I was surprised. Like,
Good.
Yeah. So, but I would like to use some high 3 tensile wire along the road there and make some defined gaps in that fence. And because there's no real, like I could cut brush and try to do all that stuff, but there's just not that much to cut. And so I was thinking about just getting T-posts and putting fence along the road there. And that way I can steer the deer pretty well because they're going east-west across the road. And if I put a couple gaps in there, I'll have some really good pinch opportunities. Mm-hmm. I'll leave those gaps like 15 feet wide. They won't be like a little stall gate because the deer just won't love that, right? And so, but I don't know. That's one of the things that I was like, ooh, if we still have that, I gotta get to work on that sooner than later, as because I kind of want to utilize the frozen-ish ground.
I was gonna say because if it keeps thawing, which forecast looks like it's supposed to get cold-ish again, but that's what's driving me nuts. Is like this time last year, I was well on my way on so many different projects that I have, and I haven't even touched besides cutting wood for my wood boiler to heat my house. I haven't touched a chain. Nothing. Yeah, it's eating me alive. And now we're getting into like you look outside and you can see grass, and it's starting to feel like spring a little bit.
I think it's a little deceiving because I think we have
but February.
But normally at this time of year through the winter months, dude, I'm like just dropping trees and hinge cutting and all sorts of cool stuff. And we have not done any of that. We haven't even shot any footage of that. But it's all right. Cause I mean, here I feel pretty good about it, but I think the big difference for me is all these variables. My properties are for sale right now. I'm not putting in the efforts.
You got like a lot going on right now. Like a lot.
Yeah. We'll see where the Lord has us when this all shakes out. Because I will be sad if Kentucky goes, but if Kentucky doesn't go, we got to get rolling because that's going all into beans and corn down there. All the tillable ground.
You got to get rolling.
Right. AKA me and my mouse. And we got to do a lot. When I'm saying we, I don't know who my we is, but yeah.
Sam loves a tractor.
Yeah, I love Sam, but I don't think that's going to be
Yeah, because if you line up during turkey season, I'll gladly help you.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely turkey season. Like, I think the cool thing is down there is like the growing season's so long. And so when we get pressured to get stuff in up here, like I can plant corn pretty early, but I don't need to. And so it's like it's so humid. Yeah. It's so hot. There's so much water.
So many ticks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my only thing that I do not like.
So many snakes.
I can do snakes. I can't like ticks. Ticks are what gets me. I just
copperheads and rattlesnakes are not my favorite.
Not my favorite, but I can work around them comfortably rather than like having a tick crawl on me and me not know, and then I can't eat meat anymore. That's like my biggest fear in life. I'm pretty sure.
Biggest fear.
Yeah, hands down.
The mini little micro tick things down there that like are just like your whole socks are just lined with them. Yeah. Well, so we'll see. But there's a lot of variables, and I'm just making excuses for myself why I'm not doing the stuff that I should be doing. It's because
the only thing that I did this year I was proud of, but like not even close to what I want to do. I just I feathered my dad's when it got real cold here. I used that as an excuse to feather his food plot a little bit and drop some trees for the deer, just so they had some food,
some browse.
Yeah, like there's the canopy starting to like really come over into the food plot. So like I just told him I was feeding the deer, but really I'm feathering his.
Right.
Feathering his food plot a little bit for him. It needs a lot more, but
he likes trees.
He loves trees, and that should be. I'm trying to think of who to. That should be a podcast in itself about, like working. Let's say, for example, me working on my dad's property the last 4 years. He does love trees, and for me to cut a tree down, he does not like it. So that is obviously very hard to work with. So you got to learn that balance. And so this is an example. I had this, I personally thought it was a beautiful little hinge cut area. It held deer. It was like right where I wanted to, like great. He looked at it as like the ground was frozen. He can get in there with a tractor, and he literally he cut all the hinges and brought them out to drag up. He had a nice intention for giving it to me for firewood. At the end of the day, I'll buy firewood before I like ruin a good bedding area. So yeah, that's kind of like what I deal with there. And that was kind of, again, it's his property. He deserves to do whatever he wants with it. And that's the biggest reason. That was a very large motivator for me to say, like, I just need my own property where I can just do and learn and do and leave it.
Yeah. Make mistakes, figure it out, and realize that you're making mistakes.
Like the good thing is I've made a lot of mistakes on his property that I've learned from. So bless his heart that he's allowed me to do that stuff. And I'll say like it's the beginning of my habitat journey. And I'm sure, I bet consultants, like when they start off making mistakes. So like that's where I started, but I've learned a ton from it. So,
well, I think that's one of the biggest aspects of becoming a good at anything that you do. If you're not willing to make mistakes and learn from it, that's one of the hardest things that I see when you go tour a guy's property. Is one, it's oftentimes the son has watched a whole bunch of stuff on YouTube, and loves the idea, gets super excited about it. It's dad's land. Dad says, okay, let's go up there, because dad loves to hunt. So let's go work on the farm this weekend and figure out what we're going to do. Son wants to do a hinge cut area. Son really doesn't know how to hinge cut. Hinge cuts a 1 acre little pocket, or let's say a half acre pocket in the middle of the timber, takes all the maples, because he learned that you take maples that are 4 to 6 inches in diameter and tip those all down, does that underneath the canopy of and they just rot. And dad says, none of this stuff works. We don't want to listen to any of this stuff, and it's a bunch of garbage. And now we have this big pile over there that nothing does anything with. And it's like, yeah. So educating, like Colin said, is like starting with an education process of like, what's your goal? What do you want to achieve? How do we get deer to stay on your property? How do we look at the entire property as a sanctuary, not just sections of it? We're not looking for a sanctuary pocket over here and a sanctuary pocket over here. We want the deer to believe from when deer season starts, September, to the end of January.
Or February.
Wow, geez. That you want the whole property to be a sanctuary. And how do you protect deer, not how do you kill deer? And yes, we are trying to grow deer to the next age class for maturity purposes, so we have a well-balanced herd on our properties, and we need to shoot a substantial amount of does to do that and to manage it all, so we have the right bucks breeding the right does, because there is a thing of natural selection that is in the nature that God intended, that only the strong will survive, and they won't have the right to breed, and you'll balance all that out. But when we just target young deer, we have a problem, because you're targeting one half of the sex, or actually it's not actually a 1-to-1 ratio in the population, but you're targeting a one half of the sex because of what grows on its head. And so it does impact tremendously on how you go about this.
It was funny. Our last podcast that we talked on that subject,
Yeah.
specifically for Michigan and like some rules and regulation potential changes. Like it was full on. We had the intention of saying like, this is like what some of the leading smartest people say on the subject. And like we should all get together as hunters to get a goal and do whatever to reach it. Man, the hate that we got on that was like wild.
Yeah. It's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate. I mean, like I didn't even start commenting on the YouTube comments because I knew that I had to like take a breather of like again, our goal was to say like, you guys, let's come together and say, maybe this is not the best move, but it's a step forward, put in the right direction. Let's embrace it and then learn from it and then make better decisions after that. And we got hate.
And we're humble enough to say that it might not even be in the right direction, but it's a step. Instead of saying like, hey, let's just add more season and hopefully it's going to shoot more does, because everybody knows there is no argument. And if you have an argument that we don't need to shoot does in Michigan, I'm sorry, like you're just wrong.
Well, maybe your property.
And there's certain regions of it, and and the argument like, well, turkeys we don't manage for the. We do too. Turkeys have a very specific management policy. That's why you have to apply in certain areas and all that kind of stuff. And that's my argument, is that certain areas of the state, you don't need to shoot does. Certain areas of it, you do.
That's why you need to educate yourself to make those decisions in the woods.
Right. And you have to look at your property and evaluate what's going on there and then make the best decision. But the regulations aren't there to dictate what you do. It's what you can and can't do, and then you work inside those. And if you can only shoot 10 does, what do? We bring in more people to shoot does because there's more tags available with other guys. Like if we need to shoot more does, we have to open it up to get more people there. Like that's just what you have to do.
Yeah. Like I said, it was I was pretty disheartened by the comments that we got, because I'm like, I truly like, I just want what's best for the resource, and like us bringing awareness to it, I thought would be like educate people to like help get us all in a common goal and a mindset. But man, you haters are hating hard.
For what purpose? I just challenge anybody that it does, like whether we're young, whether we're old, whatever the argument is that you disagree with us on, it's okay. We don't hate you, and it's okay that you have a different opinion.
Yeah.
We're not mad at you.
No.
Like we don't.
Well, I'm mad at you now.
Lee might be. I've been praying blessings over you because I've asked the Lord to forgive me for being offended because of what you've said. Like I have no right to be offended. So I'm like, all right, Lord, forgive me for being offended. I pray a blessing over this guy's username. And hopefully you're experiencing those blessings and you feel it in your life. Like truly, I really do believe that. And so, but like, as I look at this, I'm like, what? And again, I'll take it back to James 4:1. Where do your quarrels come from? They come from your pleasures. Read the Bible. Everybody is so offended because when their pleasure gets put up against the fence and when they have to fight for this, they quarrel and they claw and they go bananas. And it's like, hey guys, we're all on the same team here.
That's it. Yeah.
And it's not about like, I don't know. I'm not worried about the regulations as much as I used to be, as far as like, if they take it down to $1, what will I do? Like if they take it down to this, what will I do? It's like, we'll work through it and we'll figure it out. And
I think it's a lot coming like this is no disrespect, but your personality is like when you shot a buck this year, I could see that your mind was very focused on where's my next one? How do I get to my next one? And like for you to be okay with a potential $1, that's a big change. Like
huge.
Huge. So like it's again like.
And a guy that shot one in Kentucky, and I was like, because I shot the one and I was done. Mm-hmm. And like I have this Kentucky farm that just sits there, and like but it will be a massive if it were to go there. We have no clue. If it were to go there and that change happened, it will be a huge difference in our culture of our state. And there will be people that are disappointed. There will be people that will love it. There will be people that love it and then they end up hating it because of the actual experience.
And again, like we will fully embrace saying like in let's say one buck does pass and in 2 years, like not meeting any of the requirements.
Right.
We're like, okay, we learned something.
Let's make a change again.
Let's make a change again. Like we are,
and we're not politicians where like
Not at
everyone's
all.
like, well, you guys once said one buck was the answer. And it's like, dude, we're willing to learn and adapt, you know?
one buck is just, like you said, it's a step potentially towards, it's a change. And what has happened, what in most parts of Michigan, it is not a balanced herd and things need to change.
Well, and that's where I said, you know, I'd love for our state government to get on board with hiring us to do a thermal analysis of a county. Pick a county, state, talk to us, reach out to us.
First, tell us what you think that herd is.
Yeah. You got to, you have to, the DNR has to be wide open with us and say, what's going on in that county? What's happening? You know, what are the deer numbers are and whatnot? And we'll set up a contract with you and we'll fly the whole thing. We'll do a thermal analysis. We'll break it down. We'll get Al involved because he is like the data whiz. And I mean, I don't know, Al, sorry if I like threw you in there and said you're willing to do that, but like we need somebody to support like that. And I feel like he's willing. And we'll break it all down and get it back to you. And then you can make an informed decision about that county and that will shed a ton of light on what to do next. Mm-hmm. So, but deer regulations, we'll see. I think we're going to know more soon.
Yeah. And again, if anybody, I haven't said this publicly just because like I tried not to like advocate for something I'm unsure of. This seems like a great initiative and move that I will like shed some light on now is if you want to know more about the regulations, meetings, anything that's happening in the state of Michigan, follow the Michigan Whitetail Project. He does a great job of, not only showing up to the meetings and being an advocate for change, but just shedding light on rule changes, what's going through Congress or legislative at any point, and then just reminders for meetings up ahead. So if you actually want to get involved, follow the Michigan Whitetail Project just to at least be reminded of no matter what your opinion is, you can at least know, okay, here's the next meeting. Because that's what I would struggle with is like remembering on the top of my head of like, this is the next meeting and then actually remember to go into it or whatever. But the next thing, I feel it's a touchy subject, but I want to bring it up just because it's exploding right now that I'm seeing is I think it's unfortunate because we had Mike on who is the president of Michigan of the NDA. And I think he's an outstanding human, but the NDA as a whole is getting a lot of, backlash right now. Like there's like I don't want to say a movement against them, but there's a movement against the NDA and just really calling them out on some stuff. Have you seen any of that?
No, I live under a rock.
Yeah. It's gonna be a gut check for the NDA, like to move forward. It is quite interesting. Like I said, I don't by any means hate the NDA, and I really enjoyed him as a guest and as a person, but people are calling the NDA out quite drastically, mainly about their stance on CWD.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I mean, I was talking to a good friend of mine the other day, and we were talking about that, and I was like, okay, for years, when we talk about baiting bans and stuff, I'm like, if you're going to blame CWD for a baiting ban, that's just dumb. Okay, I'm sorry. That's my opinion on it. That's Jay Fettig's opinion on it.
Say that again.
If you're going to say that we have a baiting ban because of CWD and the information behind why we don't want to spread CWD is the reason to not allow people to bait, that's silly. I don't believe that is actually documented. I don't believe that that's the right approach. That I don't believe that that's helping the lower the spread of CWD. I think there's enough information out there that says that that's false and that's not actually helping the situation. If you talk to and look at like Skip Slide's information and others' information about what baiting does from a predatorization standpoint, destroying the habitat in those areas, killing deer because they believe there's a food source there and then the food source is removed and all that kind of stuff. If you put those arguments forward and say a baiting ban needs to take place, I'm in agreement with it. But when you say a baiting ban needs to take place because of CWD, I'm scratching my head and saying, all right, this is COVID science. This isn't real science. And I'm sorry to say it that way. Maybe we'll get censored. I don't really care. But it's just made up. It's just garbage. And so I'm sorry, like if the NDA does believe that it's stopping the spread of CWD.
Well, I think people are kind of given some backlash to the NDA just because their stance on it. It's not so much baiting, but it's more just CWD as a whole and how they are allocating or initiating or promoting different things based around CWD, whether that's baiting or anything. It's just saying, I think the NDA, do not quote me on this, but it's saying like you need more doe harvest in the area because of CW. You need all these things because of CWD. So that's why people are saying quit the COVID science and like let's move on to actual deer science that makes a difference and changes.
Sure.
Are more
Yeah,
relevant.
I have not followed the NDA that close to say that they are like if that's their argument, it's like, oh, well, you got to do all these things to control CWD. I mean, I would say it's a percentage, and maybe they're using that.
Well, who's the president of the NDA? Kip publicly was kind of for sharpshooters coming in an area and wiping out herds and stuff like that. He was like kind of advocating and saying that's the most effective way for CWD to prevent CWDs. I think that
really maybe
triggered.
if you can find a clip of that, like that would be helpful because I don't like.
Yeah, it's on the Whitetail podcast. I think that's what it's called. It's with Jake Hofer, big podcaster, great podcast. A lot of love to Jake. He had Kip on there, and that's where he publicly said a lot of things. And I think that's what really stoked the fire.
Maybe I should go back and watch that. But yeah, don't know. I mean that like, but that's one man's opinion. Like, I mean, I know he's the head of that whole organization and all that kind of stuff. But like, if that's I would say this, I do respect Kip enough to know that if he believes that, there's a reason. He's not just doing that because it's his opinion. And that's where I'm saying the haters got to stop because it's like, maybe it's money. Maybe somebody's paying him to say that.
I think that's what people are going at the NDA for right now, saying you're being paid to say this stuff. Because one guy randomly saw some guys pulling financial stuff and saying the state of Missouri has given the NDA X amount of money for CWD stuff. And I didn't dive into it enough to like make this like a full on, this is what happened. I'm just saying like I caught glimpses of that.
Yeah. I mean, if that's the case and they believe that they're going to be able to accomplish more with the money that they get, and so that's why they're trying to help people and that's how they want to use it. I mean, at the end of the day, dude, we individually stand before the judgment seat, so I don't really care. Like, I do care about the deer herd and stuff like that, but if that's your motivation to go get it done and it's not actually information that's causing you to want to make change, I'm sorry. That's disappointing and it's sad and it is what it is. But I have no proof of that.
No,
and
I am not publicly saying any of this is true by any means. Like, do your own research. I spent 5 minutes of research of just reading.
Yeah,
So.
I would say that, we're advocates for anybody who's advocating for better deer herd management.
100%. Like I said, like I'm on board. Like when we had Mike on here, what he talked about, I agreed with 100% of the time. Like, I enjoyed our conversation, thought he was very knowledgeable and well-rounded.
And I don't think his representation of what they're trying to do is for the sole purposes of making money.
No, not at all. Like, that was very evident.
And so, but all right. Well, I want to get a little better pulse on that and look at what
I'll send you the link to the podcast. It's a good one.
All right.
Like I said, Jake's really good at podcasts and interviewing his guests. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at now. We are in the heat of mapping season. So snow, if you're in Michigan, the snow is all.
Northern Michigan has got a lot. Still.
Yeah, Northern Michigan's got a lot. So, but Southern Michigan, your snow is leaving. So, like, if you're interested in a non-snow map, now is the time to reach out for sure.
Yeah.
Get on the
Get scheduled before green up, all that kind of stuff. You can see down through the woods.
But I think other states are clear of snow for the most part now. So if you guys are interested, like Missouri, Lee's farm that we flew was I was nervous about it because it's like, again, like what's so cool about these maps is they're like unique to exactly when you want it. We were in a kind of a time crunch of like, get this done. So when we get out there, we can give them the map. So they had a nice overcast day and there was like there's a skiff of snow kind of throughout his property.
A skiff?
A skiff.
Is that a thing? Like
think
a dusting? So. Is that what a skiff means? A skiff's a small boat. So like, I'm not trying to call you out, but like
you did.
I just did because I've never heard that. Like,
no, I've heard it a lot.
All right, cool.
I think people will.
I mean, I've been wrong before. I just think of a little baby boat when I hear of a skiff.
No, I don't think you're thinking of the right thing.
I'm probably not.
But there was, Google says a skiff of snow refers to a very light, thin dusting or shallow coating of snow that barely covers the ground.
Nice.
Yes.
Well played, sir.
Yes. So there was a skiff of snow across the Lakoski's farm, and it made it like really cool. It like emphasized the ridges. It's a beautiful, beautiful map. So what I was getting to is like, if you guys are in the Midwest, anywhere down south, like especially down south before you guys hit green up, now's the time.
Yeah.
Now is the time to reach out again. If you're unsure, come visit us at a show, see them firsthand. And I promise you, you will be like, oh, these are nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Skiff of snow. Now I learned something new today. I'm pretty excited to use it. I'm try to see how many sentences I can get that into today.
Yeah. I'm going to go out and get some footage of your logger doing some work right now.
Nice.
Hopefully you guys can make it out to one of the shows. Looking forward to talking to you then. Really greatly appreciate you guys following along, subscribing to the YouTube. If you have not subscribed, it does help us like a lot. So
I hate being the guy that says like, subscribe, and share, but it's like, dude, it's unfortunate, but it's like,
it is unfortunate.
It's
that's why we try not to say it every single episode.
I know, but like, subscribe, share,
please,
just do something.
Give us a heart,
yeah, I mean, or comment, all the things, because then it just goes more, and we're able to do more, and
yeah, our goal is just to educate here, so it's nothing more
and have
than
fun,
that.
and love people, love God, and love people,
love Jesus and hunt turkeys.
Yeah, love Jesus, hunt turkeys.
Yes. So all right, God bless everybody, and we will see you next week.